Well, that's weird. For some reason the echo. For some reason the video seems to be a bit busted, and if that is how we mean to start today, then who knows how the rest of this shit's gonna go. What I'm gonna do whilst I'm here is try and figure out what the fuck just happened, because for some reason it didn't play the video audio, and that shouldn't be up there either. Twice for some reason. I'll go through those in a minute. We're having a good start, ladies and gentlemen, already. I've got some people to thank. Oh, we've got our level 1 hype train going on. How about that? So thank you for the 11-month sub now for Zach. 12 months, a year. Thank you very much, Alex. Mike Lane as well for a year as well, a year streak, which must mean I'm getting about that time now when I've been streaming for nearly a year. So thank you very much. Alex with the bits. Look at that, man. 141 bits. Thank you very much. The hype train is over 100%. You boys are awesome. Thank you. Let's see if we can get ourselves a little bit of welly. Chris, thank you very much. 12 months for Chris as well. Fucking hell, man. It must have been such a long time now, eh? Such a long time. Let's have a look and see what I've got going. What we got now? Well, Matty with Prime. Hey, Matty with Prime. Thank you very much. I almost missed that one. Matt versus. I don't think they want it. I'm not going to force it on them. I'm quite confident they don't want it. And like I said, I'm not going to force them if they don't want it. I don't think Matt wants it, so I'm not going to force the issue. It would be funny, and it would add a little bit of banter to the proceedings. But like I say, I'm not inclined to force it on that. For some reason, that intro is only 1 minute long. Lena, you're here. Is the OSW intro only 1 minute long? I don't know if it is or not. Maybe it is. Maybe it is just 1 minute long.
10, 9,
that's the old one, isn't it?
7, 6,
that ain't
5, 4, 3.
That's the one we want. There we go. Such a bit of classic OSW history that Mike Lane has made there and created. Even though Alex is laughing at the Brent Cash, we just ignore Alex because the video is insanely good. Level 2 hype train as well, 58%. Thank you very much, everybody. Also, Matty says 5 months with Prominent. Realize you've subscribed with Pride for 5 months, so thank you very much for that. Thank you, everyone who supports, everyone who subscribed, everyone who follows, comes to these shows, watches myself and Mike Lane. We put a lot of hard work into them, whether it's just creating the graphics you see on the stream, which I hope you enjoy today. By the way, we have King of the Stoned Age there for you. I will not pretend this is going to be a super long show tonight. Hour and a half, maybe. It is Double Tap IV. So, a few facts before we begin here tonight. So, the first is that the tag team champions going into Double Tap have never successfully retained their championships. In fact, if you go back to Double Tap, you will see that the champions, I believe, were eliminated in the very first round of the tournament. So, yeah, I stepped out of the room, unfortunately, so that's my bad. So first round, going back to I believe the first double tap, the family were the tag team champions. They were also eliminated in the first round. So there is a lot of first round eliminations. In double tap, the tag team champions have made it to the finals once. That was the gentleman duo, as Dawson just said in chat, and that was against the eventual winners, the Awakening, in the final. So, this is not a tournament in which the tag team champions going in normally come out with the titles. So we'll see what happens tonight. It could be historic. This is the fourth double tap of its kind. I really want to bring tag team wrestling to the forefront in season 5. I want tag team wrestling to be prominent. I want big champions. I want good champions. I want defending champions. I want tag team matches. I want good tag team matches. I want tag team main events. I really want to do something with tag team wrestling in season 5. This is the beginning of that. The hype train just concluded. Thank you very much. Let me share the old emote in the chat. I'm not sure if that pops in or what, but let's get that going. There you go. Thank you so much, everyone, for that. I really appreciate it. Let's get on to the show, shall we? Because the fact of the matter is, you all came here for Double Tap, not my sexy voice. So, hopefully, everybody is ready. We've got 15 people here. I think it might be time to get going. Show starting at midnight, so anyone who's not here probably isn't coming. I think it's probably fair to say. Right, maybe a bit of audio jumping. I'm just going to go and get myself a drink. I will be back in 2 seconds. Alright, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the start of Season 5. Here it is. Season 5, Volume 2, Season 5. Here we go. We're opening with a segment called The Darkness. I don't know how that looks on your screen graphically. It might look a little squashed together. I can fix that for next time. Could use being probably just a bit wider. Graphics, I'm really happy with. So this is The Darkness. You can see him here. One scary looking motherfucker. Segment features The Darkness. So we open as we usually do with the play symbol in the bottom right hand corner. The Slaughterhouse logo flickers in bright neon blue and pink, illuminating an otherwise dark night. Just then, there's a whistle and a hard gust of wind that kicks up trash from the pavement and sends it tumbling down the street. Slowly but surely, our Slaughterhouse logo is overtaken by something dark and grey. The darkness invades every inch of light, making it duller and less vibrant. We follow the source of the darkness inside, curving around the bends and walls of the slaughterhouse until we arrive backstage. There we see people preparing for the show ahead. Luke Storm and Voynich are shaking hands, re-establishing their respect for one another, until the dark breeze passes by them and they abruptly stop, slowly releasing their grasp on each other's hands. Something immediately changes. We continue down the hallway, passing by Viper Roberts and Sigil, who go from mutual conversation to simply staring at one another. Roberts backs away, his eyes darker than they were before. Stoner and Jesse Williams are smoking weed, laughing and giggling amongst themselves in a locker room tucked far away from the halls. The darkness likewise seeps under their closed door and infects their haze, turning it dark and terrifying. Their laughter stops. Their amusement is over, and silence ensues. Finally, we catch up with the dark smoke in the halls leading towards the office that once belonged to the butcher. It filters inside dangerously, before forming a terrifying figure. The darkness. He cackles a horrifying and loud screeching laugh. Then we turn to static. And cut. Welcome to Season 5, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. The darkness is in old school wrestling, and everybody, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, is a little bit darker. It's going to make for an interesting season, isn't it? It really is. Hey, thank you very much, Brian. Brian, mate. Someone's called you Brian then. Thanks very much, mate, for the sub. That's 12 months as well. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. OSW is a much darker place now. You can see it in some of the graphics. There's a darker hue on some of the graphics. It's intentional. We have a fun season ahead, guys. A real fun season ahead. And we're jumping straight the fuck in to a match. It's the first round of Double Tap. It is Kings of the Stone Age, the tag team champions versus Bad Motherfuckers versus the Perfect Strangers in first round tag team action. Are you ready? Because here we are. We said it before. The champs don't retain. They always go out. And here, more often than not, in the first round, first match of the night, first round of the night, it is the tag team champions versus Bad Motherfuckers versus Perfect Strangers. Kings of the Stone Age hold the straps coming into Double Tap, but between them and a chance of retention are a pair of bad motherfuckers, desperate to prove good guys do finish last. However, there are a couple of perfect strangers dreaming big. 2 seconds, guys. Oh, sorry about that. That's my guy. That's my bad. I locked my back door a few minutes ago, shut it and locked it after having it open all night. And the dog's just barking at me to let me know that I locked him out because I'm really clever like that. So, all three teams are inside the ring. Pyre, being the baddest bitch in town, runs at Stoner, sucker punching him with a shot to the back of the head. The momentum sending Smoker stumbling comedically into the turnbuckle. Pyre begins cackling a cunty laugh. Boomstick! But Jesse Williams wipes that fucking grin off her face. The Superman punch sends the fire bitch through the ropes and out of the ring. Zero seeks revenge, but the Prince counters with an uppercut, then a tornado kick, groovy eclipse, then out of nowhere, perfect strangers combine. Cesaro uppercut, running lariat, distorted reality. CDXY leaps over the fallen Prince. 1, 2, 3 already? No. Zero drags the referee out of the ring. Punk City Killer to the official. Why? Just because Zero is a bad motherfucker. See you later, referee. The cyborg climbs into the ring apron, but he's intercepted by Mordecai, the gatekeeper of dreams, pulling the VHS champion over the top rope. Myoclonic twitch, I hope I said that right. Air raid, crash neckbreaker, connects. Now Stoner is into the fray. Spanker Danker Pickles and Mordecai, what name? Shining Wizard to CXDY. Jesse Williams from the top rope. Call of the chosen. Swanton bomb. I choose you. Cry the kings of the stoned age. But there's no time for recover because Pyre slingshots over the top rope into a tornado DDT. And Stoner gets spun. Zero goozles Jesse. Bionic chokeslam into a backstabber. These motherfuckers are bad to the bone. The referee recovers from his punk city killer just in time for Zero to make the cover. 1, 2, 3. No! Mordecai makes the save. The gatekeeper drags Pyre off Jesse into a swinging Cobra clutch. Sweet dreams for the destroyer of Wonderland. And she's launched straight into Zero. Now Stoner wants a piece, but Mordecai counters him straight into the pump handle sit-out bomb. False awakening. Incoming boomstick. Misses. Neurosis. The spinning backbreaker rack puts down the prince. Mordecai has put every damn opponent to sleep. CDXY is on the top turnbuckle and he's calling for the end. Mordecai grabs Pyre and lifts her up for the belly to back pile driver. Oh god, I gotta say this word. Hypnagogia. Counter with a Hurricane Rana. CDXD flies off the top rope into a code breaker from the Queen of Flames. Stoner is up and he surprises Pyre. Dropkick of doom. Then usually the red mist descends over the Toka's eyes and he tears away from the turnbuckle cover. He peels Pyre off the mat. Firewall. Zero intervenes to save his partner with a massive bionic clothesline, lifting Stoner up with his bionic arm shortly thereafter into the goozle. Absolute Zero chokeslam onto the still exposed turnbuckle. Stoner is as good as couch locked after that hit from Zero's bong, but Pyre wants more, whispering something into Zero's ear that draws a smirk. Whatever it is, we don't find out what, because a double running lariat bigger in Japan. That's a little reflection of perfection for you from Cody, and he's pumped up now, screaming trash at the bad motherfuckers. He lifts them into the reverse headlock. Are we about to see the double perfect ending? No. Double back body drop to Cody. Here comes the Prince. Booyah! Misses. Punk City Killer connects. Dance in Flames. It's double the punishment for the Prince as he is usurped by the Killer Queen. 1, 2, 3. The Kings of the Stone Age reign is over as bad motherfuckers move into the final 4. Their eyes very much on the prize, and the double tap curse continues. Fantastic opening match to kick off Double Tap. Killer Queen takes out Jesse Williams. That's a stunner into the Eclipse. So, that is one badass finish. We're going to keep it rolling, guys. We're going now into a brilliant backstage segment. It's called Captured, and it's featuring Leif Helvig, Banzan, and Sanctus Bellator. As Banzan and Sanctus Bellator prepare for their upcoming match backstage, they stand somewhat opposite one another. There appears to be some dissension, a distrust, if you will. I'd probably get used to that if I were you guys. Just then, the door knocks and in walks a nervous young man, carrying a videotape, good old VHS style. Banzan, he asked nervously, looking at both men, unsure of the face the name belongs to. I'm looking for Banzan. The mountain steps forward, his arms folded. What do you want? He growls. Everyone seems a little more aggressive tonight, a little more on edge than usual. You don't know me, he stutters and stammers. But I was enslaved by a terrifying monster. He wanted to study me. I managed to escape, but I don't think that was by accident. Spit it out, kid, Banzan roars. What do you want? I think it's best if you just watch this, he says. The young man hands over the tape and makes a hasty exit, leaving it to Banzan to place into the television video unit. We get static, and then we're immediately thrust into some dark and grainy footage inside what looks to be a dungeon. Sat there, dirty, changed, and drugged, is none other than Leif Helvig. A voice booms in the background. You're still alive, a deep, growling voice states, impressed. I wonder for how long. And then the video cuts. Banzan looks towards Sanctus, who shakes his head. I'm guessing this is your fault, he accuses, folding his arms in disgust. The mountain simply snarls, and we cut. So there we go. Moving out of Ring of Dreams into Double Tap, we find that Leif Helvig is being held captive. Um, well, you have to think every character is not themselves at the moment now, so everyone is definitely a darker version of themselves. So Banzan is not as friendly or as understanding as he normally would be. Sanctus is being an asshole. Um, a lot of these people are feeling that darkness within them now. And that's what the darkness does. He comes in and he makes everyone more aggressive, more angry, and darker. So it doesn't matter if you're a good guy or a bad guy, you're going to suffer that. Leif Helvig is being held captive by someone. Banzan is responsible for that. He gave Leif Helvig up, and as a result, he's now in a situation that I don't think Banzan expected. So it's going to be interesting. But we now move on to our second first round match of the evening. Tag team triple threat action. The Deadly Alliance. Sigil and Viper Roberts versus Pirate Gold, Kale Gable, and Israel Grimwolf versus Banzan and Sanctus Bellator, Faith of the Chosen. Will Faith lead the Chosen on the road to success? Will the Deadly Alliance add more skin to the collection, or is the barrel of treasure at the end of the double tap rainbow destined to become pirate gold? Grimwolf and Bellator get this started, and the pirate bursts out of the traps, and he's looking for a high-impact clothesline. Bellator, agile as a cat, leaps out of the way, handspringing off the ropes and into a swinging Hurricane Rana, followed by the grounded armbar. Grimwolf is hollowing in agony, and Bellator is trying to yank the shoulder out of the joint. But Cosmic Leap, Sigil, teleports into the ring and saves Grimwolf as he looks certain to tap with a double foot stomp through the portal. Banzan steps into the ring to intercept the Collector, but here come the flurry of blows for the... No, Dukkha. Out of nowhere, the Dukkha hits. Banzan just drills Sigil into a new realm, countering the strike flurry. Bellator is now on the top rope. He lets fly, double foot stomp, cut off in midair. Viper Roberts with a midair belt strike. The Serpent is tanning the hide in midair. The Head Snake is whacking any damn thing that moves inside the ring. Bellator is flagellated, I think, more than Jesus in the Passion. In comes Kel Gable, but he's cut down like a sapling and given 6 sinister slaps with that snake skin. Maga, holy fuck, Banzan with a brutal knee strike. He almost damn near decapitated the deadly dirtbag. The mountain stands tall in the ring. Dagger to the back of Banzan. Grimwolf just seized the conqueror of Leif Helvig, and then Kel Gable with a waistlock and a big-ass German suplex. Grimwolf with a Pele kick. Hidden treasure. Pirate Gold are digging for the chest of glory. Grimwolf and Gable stand proud. Cosmic Leap. Sigil hits behind Gable and takes him into a sleeper hold. Brass knuck strike from the Viper to the Olympian. Grimwolf comes to his partner's aid. Snake Oil. Finite even. The Cobra Kiss sends Grimwolf over the top rope. Bellator is back into the action, and he stuns Sigil with a stinging chop to the back of the neck. Then a standing moonsault slide slam, modified Impertio. Sanctus Bellator may have just won the match right there. The Templar covers, but it's a big shake of the head and a wag of the finger from the official, because Sigil isn't the legal man. Israel Grimwolf is. But there's no time for Sanctus to argue, because Viper low blows the Templar. Snake bite, wraparound neckbreaker. The bodies are everywhere in the ring. Sigil is teleported. Ezreal Grimwolf back into the ring and then tags himself in. A cover on Bellator. 1, 2, 3, no! Kel Gable saves his partner. Finally, the referee asserts some authority, clearing the ring of all but Sanctus Bellator and Sigil. The Templar and the Collector go straight for each other, and Sigil proves why he is OSW's purest striker, because he's on top very quickly. Sigil lifts Bellator up, looking to slam him across his knee. Counter, Hurricane Rana. Bellator escapes and leaps for a corner, tagging in Banzan with the hot tag. Banzan moves as quick as he can for a mountain, which isn't particularly swift, but he glides across the mat and meets Sigil with a powerful palm strike combination. Tiger Claw. Sigil drops to his knees. Banzan uses the rope for momentum. Maga countered. Cosmic Leap. Sigil appears behind Banzan. Chop to the back of the head. Merciful, and off the ropes looking for a planeswalker. To the back of the head, denied. Grimwolf with a big boot. The official tries to usher Grimwolf out of the ring, but he's resisting. Banzan joins in, and he's blind tagged by Kale Gable. Sigil Cosmic leaps and tags in Sanctus Bellator. The Templar charges at Pirate Gold, but he takes a heart punch. Dead man's chest. Grimwolf whips Bellator into Gable. F5, jumping knee strike to Kelstrom. He covers. 1, 2, 3. Pirate Gold with a devastating double team to seal the win and progress to the semi-final round. Winners and advancing Pirate Gold. There you go. 2 teams are in the next round, ladies and gentlemen. We have Pirate Gold for a start, of course. Let me just take a drink. And Bad Motherfuckers. And that's right, Zach. That does set up a beautiful tie in the next round, the semi-final, between Bad Motherfuckers and Pirate Gold. There is your first semi-final of the evening. But we have a little ways to go before we get there, folks. We do know Bad Motherfuckers versus Pirate Gold is coming up, and that is going to be one hell of a match. You got to be excited for that. That's going to be insane. But first, we're heading to a segment featuring Corvus called Black Fingers. This is recorded previously. For those of you that don't remember, Corvus was dropped off in a Supermax prison by Red Wing after an epic story that ended at Ring of Dreams. Corvus is in tag team action tonight. Let's find out how he got there. This is recorded previously. Buzz. The sound of a long buzzing can be heard as doors inside the Supermax prison slide open before us. We see a shiny pair of brown shoes step inside a very dark room. There, sat against the grimy wall, naked, dirty and alone, is a figure we can barely make out. The person throws down a trash bag full of items that clunk as they hit the floor. That was an admirable decision you made, a voice softly says into the dark void before him. It's Ben Kane. The naked man stands up and walks towards his things, bending down to retrieve them. We focus on Ben as the person puts them back on. When he's finished, we finally see him. Corvus. We're but black fingers of the black hand, are we not? Corvus mutters, straightening himself out. Whoa, Ben Kane is a member of the Black Hand? Now that's a revelation. He walks towards a door, illuminated by a bright light that blinds him. Corvus shies his head away slightly. Is he gone? The Crow asks. Bill? Yeah, he's gone. As far as he's concerned, that part of his life is over, Kane says gladly. I wish I could say the same for me. That forces a wry smile out of Corvus. We've a lot of work to do yet, Ben, the Crow reminds him. For the greater good. He walks out into the light, leaving Ben Kane alone in the room, his face a picture of desperation and sadness as we cut. Whoo! So, definitely a revelation. Red Wing dropped Corvus off in Supermax and went on to live his happy ever after. What he didn't realise is that Ben Kane, the brother of his deceased wife, his brother-in-law, is also a black finger, like Corvus, and a member of the Black Hand. So Corvus has been released from Supermax. It's not going to affect Red Wing's happy ending. Red Wing is gone. Ben Kane said that. He's out of here. He's gone. He's not coming back. That leaves Corvus to continue his work. And that naturally leads us to our third first round match of the evening. Yeah, that's right, Brian. That's right. I can call you Brian now because it says Brian, mate. I'm sorry, buddy. That's right, mate. So thinking back so far across the show, you've seen the darkness infiltrate OSW. You're looking at characters inside OSW, darker, more aggressive. You've now seen that Leif Helvig is being held captive and Banzan is responsible for that and not in a way that he expected. It looks like whoever's doing that is going to try and kill him. You now see that Corvus, although he was dropped inside of Supermax, is coming back, and he is in this match as well. So we've got a lot going on. This one is the Harbingers. It's Dark Lord and Sandman versus Creeping Death, Corvus and Death Note versus Albie Shaw and Nigel Royal, Her Majesty's Pleasure, HMP. I think that's Her Majesty's Prison, is it? I can't think. It's something to do with prisons, I'm sure. Really cool name. We have a cracking first round match here as these three teams fight for the right to move on. Will the Shield Power win out? Will the KG Assassins fight to move on? Or will money rule overall? The bell sounds as Sandman rushes forward, nearly taking Nigel Royal's head off with a massive big boot. Albie Shaw turns to defend his partner, but walks into a stiff roundhouse kick from Corvus before the Crow turns around to a hand around his throat. They call that a goozle in the business. No, not to Sand, because an elbow to the back of the head from Death Note breaks it up. Sandman drops Corvus, turning into a flurry of left and rights that barely affect the Dream Demon before Sandman drops him to his knees with a skull-rattling headbutt. Death Note leans over on his hands and knees, giving a launching pad for Corvus. Corvus kick. He runs straight up Death Note into a beautiful Corvus kick, and Sandman is dazed as he stumbles right into the grip of the risen Death Note, who lifts him up high. Gather thy soul. Death's touch. Sandman is out of it, but before Death Note can drop down for the cover, GBH by Albie Shaw nails him with a Claymore kick. Corvus rushes forward trying to take down Shaw, because a stiff elbow to the back of the head from Nigel Royal, and this match is chaos. There's no tagging. It's insane, right? Nigel Royal, though, picks him up and drops him on the back of his head with a belly to back suplex. Royal holds on, delivering a second and then a third before lifting him halfway up as Shaw bounces off the ropes with a GBH. Nigel delivers a fourth back suplex with the Venom completing the Royal's flush. Of course, it's a modified heart attack, showing that crime does indeed pay. Royal keeps Corvus' shoulders down for the cover. 1, 2... Royal breaks the count, twisting himself on the mat before locking Corvus in the dungeons of London. The good old crossface. Corvus screams in pain, but his agony is about to double as Albie Shaw drops down too, locking in his own crossface. They call that the credit crunch. Corvus could be done, and he's about seconds away from tapping out, although he's got no fucking hands. They're all trapped. Kiss of death, double foot stomp. Death Note just saves this for his team with that double foot stomp. All four men are now out on the canvas, and the God King finally steps out of his corner looking to pick up the pieces. That's one thing you don't want to see. Royal is lifted up off the mat. Warlord's hand. Shaw rushes in trying for another GBH. Neil. Dark Lord kicks that bitch out of mid-run as Death Note gets to his feet. He does a massive kick to the gut before being lifted high up. One hand through his legs before a black hole nearly delivers him through the mat. Dark Lord is cleaning down house here tonight, and he pulls the hurting Corvus back to his feet. Black blades, no. Corvus tries for the RKO, but he's spun around before getting locked into the King's grasp. Corvus struggles under the rear naked choke as he looks up. The Sandman looming as usual. 40 winks. Carthian slumber. Corvus is in absolute agony here, and he's forced to tap out. The Harbingers advance to the semi-final here tonight with an absolutely destructive showing that could well be an omen of things to come. Gotta admit, I didn't see the ending coming. I thought there was going to be more, and suddenly 40 winks, Carthian slumber. I gotta be honest, I don't quite know what the moves are except for the eye gouge, but it all came together very fast at the end. Whew, high impact. There we go. The Harbingers through to the next round. Is it rear naked choke? So rear naked choke into right. Cool. Yeah, it does actually say he struggles under the rear naked choke there. Okay, cool. Just want to try and picture it in my head is all. So yeah, that's really cool. Harbingers are through to the next round. So bad motherfuckers. Pirate Gold, the Harbingers. One of these three so far will be your new OSW Tag Team Champions. Who's it going to be? We have one more match to go. And the beauty of the next match is, of course, it is Faces of Reason versus Cackle to the Coffin. And I only mentioned those two teams in this, not to be offensive, but that's because it's Matt versus Chris. It is Matt versus Chris. Let's pay attention to that. Just for a moment, Voynich and Storm, of course, are in the match, but it's Matt versus Chris. they'll either both lose or one will win. Who knows? We will see. But Matt versus Chris is coming up. For those of us, I said I wasn't going to push it, but it's coming up. Who the flip avoided just Storm is a good point. We're going into a segment now called This Perfect Family featuring Cody. A few days later, a beautiful house in the middle of the suburbs. You know the type. Large, white picket fence surrounding the front garden is the American ideal of perfection. Stood at the doorway with his arm around his family is none other than Cody Williams. To the left of him is his beautiful wife Sasha, and before them, dressed in a little suit, is Cody Preston Jr. A news camera crew films as the reporter approaches with a microphone. I'm here today with the Williams family, she says with a large toothy smile. Yesterday, this family came together to do the unthinkable. When little Cody Jr. heard screaming at his next door neighbor's home, he ran to get his mum and dad. She pauses for a moment. When Cody and Sasha came to see what the commotion was all about, what they found was utterly astonishing. A man had broken into their neighbor's home and was attempting to burgle it. As Sasha called the police, Cody, a professional wrestler, made entry to the home and stopped the robbery. Cody, tell us what happened. I just did what anyone else would do, Cody admits with a knowing nod. I broke the door down and found him standing over Martha, so I tackled him to the ground and restrained him whilst the authorities were being called. The reporter smiles, turning her head to Sasha. Is this something your husband does often? Is he usually the hero? She queries. Sasha looks at Cody, the smile on her face as fraudulent as can be. She wants to say yes, only in recent memory that hasn't quite been true. However, she stands by him, as you'd expect, being his wife. Cody is a brilliant husband, father, and man, Sasha proudly says. He knew what needed to be done and did it. Martha is alive because of him. This perfect family saved the life of their neighbor. Cody Williams, a wrestling hero, came to the aid of an elderly woman about to be seriously harmed. It isn't every day we get to report on such a wonderful, heartwarming story. My name is Tanya Davis, and this is a report for Channel 5 News. Cut! The camera's cut, and the news reporter shakes the hands of the Williams family before backing away to check in with her crew. CJ re-enters the house, leaving Sasha and Cody behind. Did you mean it? Cody asks honestly. You know I did, she replies with a loving hand to the face. It's just, you've not been the best you recently. You wanted to get your foot in the door, which is why you joined the IWF invasion. You wanted revenge on the Butcher, which is why you joined Blood Money Incorporated. You've always had a reason for the things you do, and none of them are good. I just want you to be the best you that you can be. That's all. He looks at her with sadness in his eyes, sadness we've never seen from him before. With a heavy heart, he nods his head. I'm finished with the means to an end, Sasha, he admits. A promise. I'm going to make both you and CJ proud of me from here on out. For our family. They kiss, and we cut. It looks like we're having a change in Cody Williams. It looks like CDXY is fed up with being the bad guy. This could be the start of something very different. I can see what people think in the chat. If you know OSW, I'm not going to say, if you know OSW, which you do, you're probably going to look at this as something to be terrible and they're going to get a divorce and it's the end of their marriage. But I think in its rawest form, Cody has at least said he wants to change, and that could be huge for Cody Williams and OSW. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. With the darkness in the background, could be difficult. This is our final first round match of the evening. It is Cursed Dreamers, the OSW champion Voynich, accompanied by his tag team partner for the night, his Ring of Dreams opponent, Luke Storm. They're taking on Cackle to the Coffin, Seesaw, and Kane Nightlord versus Simon and Two-Face. Now, they're the faces of reason. Now, we all know that there's been a bit of banter and chat between Chris and Matt, whilst they've been bantering around about who's the best and who wins and who loses. They've obviously forgotten about Cursed Dreamers. So we'll see what happens tonight. We have another huge first round match in the Double Tap tournament. Can old rivals work together to create wonders? Will evil violence reign supreme, or will psychotic intelligence win the day? The bell sounds as the Dreamers take first blood. Voynich delivering a huge running drop kick to Seesaw that sends him flying out of the ring before Storm ducks underneath a clothesline attempt from Simon, kicking him in the gut as he turns around. Gale Force stunner. Storm can't capitalize as he's grabbed from behind by Kane, who spins him around. Ripcord clothesline. Kane backs up, trying for the Northern Lariat, but gets dropped to the mat suddenly by Voynich with a stiff bulldog. Storm staggers back up to his feet as Seesaw dives off the middle rope. The Freeman Blaster. Pew pew. Storm crashes to the mat. You should see some new moves from Seesaw coming up, folks. I've been working with Joe on some new moves. I've found a way with him to make a move out of everybody he's killed by taking one of their moves, essentially. Hope you like him. Some really interesting suggestions on that. So if he's killed you, you've got move, he's probably stolen it and renamed it. Yeah, just toying with his opponents. Good little pun. Someone crashes to the mat as Voynich turns right as Seesaw drops flat on his back. Surprise! You're dead. The hard slap to the face stuns Voynich, who's lifted up onto Seesaw's shoulders. That move, by the way, is like Cody Rhodes' drop and slap. Beautiful move. The hard slap to the face stuns Voynich, who's lifted up into Seesaw's shoulders before he's dropped down onto the waiting knee of Kane with the bloody imagination. Cackle can't quite capitalise as Seesaw is spun around. Simon Plex. Simon has recovered from the stunner, gets back to his feet, ducking under a lariat attempt. Gambit, overdrive neckbreaker, the coins. Gambit. Kane is driven into the mat as Two-Face flips the coin, seeing who'll do the honours and finishing off Night Lord as it lands tails. Two-Face motioning for his partner to do it, and Simon drops down, locking in the checkmate. Kane screams out in pain as Simon wrenches back on the figure four, trying to break the vampire's legs. Kane looks just about to tap out, his hand wavering in midair. Thunder! Luke Storm breaks up the submission just in time as Two-Face tries to intervene but gets wiped out with a massive Ishtar's Gate. Simon stumbles up to his feet. Lightning strike. Seesaw scrambles up groggy. Lightning strike. Super kick party, baby. Kane slowly gets back to his feet. Voynich lifts him up from the monolith. Lightning strike monolith. Fall of Babylon. That has to be it. But Voynich and Storm can't decide on who drops down for the winning pinfall. The pair argue with one another for a moment. Double low blow from the Faces of Reason. Double roll up. 1, 2. Simon has the tights. Two-Face has the ropes. 3. Faces of Reason steal this match out of nowhere, taking advantage of the fresh hatred from Voynich and Luke Storm to advance to the semi-finals of Double Tap. There we go. We have our 4. It will be Bad Motherfuckers versus Faces of Reason, and it'll be Bad Motherfuckers versus Pirate Gold, and it will be Faces of Reason. God, I'm getting confused. Who are they taking on? It'll be Faces. My memory is so bad. I read it 2 seconds ago, and I forgot already. The Harbingers. So let's go back through this again. It'll be Bad Motherfuckers. I tell you, my memory is so bad you wouldn't believe it. Versus Pirate Gold, and it will be the Harbingers versus the Faces of Reason. Those are our 2 semi-finals. One of these 4 teams will be the OSW Tag Team Champions by the end of the night. Chris is having a meltdown in chat, naturally. Matty wishes he probably bet everything now on beating Chris and didn't. Credit where credit's due. Faces of Reason eliminated Luke Storm and Voynich. And whilst you can't discount Seesaw and Kane Nightlord because obviously they're great competitors, they have defeated the OSW champion and the OSW Championship contender from Ring of Dreams here tonight. Next week, Simon takes on Voynich for the OSW Championship. He's beaten him once here tonight. Can he do it again next week? You're definitely going to want to check out TerraVision 239, that's for sure. Hey man, I didn't try and set up Chris for a failing bet. At the end of the day, I tried to say to both of them that they can do it. I obviously know the outcome. Of course I know the outcome. But it's not for me to tell them the outcome. They bet not knowing the outcome. So, it's up to them to do what they do. You were willing to take the bet, that's true. We are moving on to a segment backstage. It's called Buckle Up, and it's featuring Jesse Williams and Joanna. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Joanna. Now, if you recall, Ash Williams left OSW Ring of Dreams, but said that he was sending Joanna. And here she is. Who is she? Backstage, Jesse Williams has his bags over his shoulder heading for the exit after one hell of an eventful night. He pushes through the doors and stops short of revving the engine. He pushes through the doors and stops short of a revving engine. Much to his surprise, is a restored, pale yellow Oldsmobile. But it isn't Ash inside. It's someone else. Get in, the woman behind the wheel says gruffly, with a twang of attitude and accent. Someone called it in the chat, there's an attitude. Jesse thinks about it for a moment and reluctantly steps inside, tossing his bags onto the back seat. I'm guessing you're Joanna, he says with a frown. What gave it away, she asks. Was it the tits? She says, pushing up her bra. These fucking things always give it away. He grimaces. Daddy asked me to come here and put you on the right path, she says with a shrug. So here I am, baby bro. A sister? He never knew he had one. That shocks Jesse. He falls over his words, trying to find the right ones. You're my sister? He mutters in confusion and shock. How? Joe looks at him a bit quizzically. He didn't say nothing about teaching you the birds and the bees, kid, she says, glancing sideways. But I can simplify it for you if you want. He put his pecker in my mama and... Whoa, Jesse cuts her off. I get the fucking picture. Why didn't he tell me you existed? Where have you been? What the fuck is going on? She laughs to herself for a moment, putting the car in drive. Just like he said, you've got lots of questions but not the right one. Buckle up, Jess. You got a lot to learn. Before he can even reach for a seatbelt, she speeds off, thrusting him back into his seat, and we cut. Ooh, yeah. Here we go, guys. Here we go. We have Joanna Williams. I'm surprised as fuck that Zach didn't get this, because Joe or Joanna is actually Ash Williams' middle name. So I figured if when I told Matt to put Joe in the Ring of Dreams segment, I thought, Zach will know that Ash Williams' middle name is Joanna, and he'll probably figure it out. But thankfully, he didn't. So I'm kind of glad he's stoked in the chat, seeing it go on. And I'm also really pleased you like her attitude, because I really loved what gave it away, the tits line. Made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. So I hope you enjoyed that, Zach. She's a fucking Williams, all right. She's gonna teach that boy the ropes. Not like that. I don't mean to disturb anyone, and I don't mean to jump ahead, but we are now into the semi-finals, and we're not slowing down. It's the Faces of Reason versus the Harbingers. Semi-final time, ladies and gentlemen. Who goes to the Double Tap IV final? Let's freaking go, baby. The semi-finals are here as two titanic teams fight it out for the chance to battle for the tag team championships. Will the Harbingers decimate with sheer power once more, or will the intelligence of the Faces of Reason win out a second time? The bell sounds, and the Harbingers stand still in their corner, patiently waiting for the Faces of Reason to make the first move. Simon gulps visibly before turning to Two-Face, who nods enthusiastically, hiding the coin fleck behind his back. Simon rushes forward as the coin drops tails, not noticing Two-Face rolling out of the ring as he pounds down on the unmoving Dark Lord with left and right before turning and seeing Two-Face isn't with him. Simon looks up at the God King, visibly gulping as he tries to run, but gets grabbed by the hair from a mammoth hand as Dark Lord swings him back into a hand around the throat. Warlord's eye poke! Simon just avoids the choke slam as he tries to run once more, but sprints right into the brick wall of the Dream Demon. The Sandman delivers an almighty headbutt that nearly knocks Simon unconscious before grabbing him around the throat with both hands, choke tossing him over his head into the corner. Simon lands with a heap as the Sandman rushes forward, heads or tails. Two-Face out of nowhere with the save, dropping Sandman with a swinging STO, but Dark Lord's on him instantly, lifting up the scarred once effortlessly high into the air. Warlord's hand! Simon stumbles out of the corner, right into a kick to the gut, and he's lifted up high too, only he's placed over the God King's shoulders, spun around into the air, black hole onto Two-Face. The God King drops down, covering both men as this could already be over. 1, 2. Simon gets his shoulder up. It looks fun, Zach, but I get the feeling you forgot this was a tag team competition because you've had 3 matches so far, and they've been triple threats and I think tornado tags instead of instead of um tag team matches, which is what they should have been. I'll check what Jordan did in the next semi-final, so it could be my fault. But they're definitely supposed to be tag team matches. Because I'm trying to get over tag team wrestling. That's it. Like, this is all about tags, is what it should be. We'll see. Maybe I got it wrong because if the next one has no tags in it, then it's my fuck up clearly. um, Sandman stumbles to his feet as both he and Darklord peel their opponents off the mat, pummeling them with left and rights before trying to whip them into one another. Simon and Two-Face manage to grab hold of one another, slingshotting the other into sliding underneath the legs of the Harbinger before pushing Darklord and Sandman into one another. The two titans collide, staggering backwards as Simon rolls up Darklord. 1, 2, Darklord easily kicks out, but the Taskmaster transitions over, quickly grabbing hold of Darklord's feet and locking in the checkmate. Simon has the hold in tight, but Sandman just stands there, staring down at his trapped partner, who looks almost bored in the submission. Simon cranks it back with all his might, but all Darklord has to do is rear back one almighty hand, and with one hook to the chest, Simon goes flying off him, breaking the hold. Jesus Christ. Simon crashes hard into the bottom turnbuckle as Two-Face rushes forward, trying to save his partner, but runs right into deep sleep. Sandman may as well just ended Two-Face's day with that massive STO, and Simon is pulled back up. Neil, that may as well have loosened some teeth from the Taskmaster as he slowly pulls himself up on the Sandman, who grips around his throat, looking for that goozle, but Simon wiggles free, his hand slipping inside the Sandman's bag of dust as he turns around into another Google. Red sand! Not a Google, a goozle. Red sand. Simon just threw red sand into Darklord's eyes. Darklord drops the hold on Simon, stumbling back as Simon scampers out of the ring. Sandman tries to help his partner, but doesn't get any gratitude. He gets a fucking Google. I can't say goozle tonight. He gets a fucking goozle. Warlord's hand to the Sandman. Darklord barely lets Sandman hit the canvas before he mounts and begins to beat the shit out of his tag team partner, lifting the Sandman up to one knee before nearly breaking his jaw with an almighty nail. Two-Face, meanwhile, is laughing his ass off. Lots of searching. Clearly enjoying the show, but his smile quickly grows to fear as Darklord turns his anger onto him. Two-Face tries to run, but gets pulled back by a shirt lapel into an almighty right hand before he's lifted up high. Warlord's hand. No, Simon gets Darklord's attention on the apron. The raging Darklord turns to Simon, who simply smiles before throwing a flashbang into Darklord's face. The God King is blinded as Simon gets into the ring with a pair of chairs, tossing one at Two-Face. They deliver a pair of massive shots to the leg that drop Darklord down to size for pull the pair back up. Con, chair, toe, classic tag team action wrestling move. Darklord drops to the mat as the conniving tricksters turn their attention to the slowly rising Sandman. Both men swing the chairs at Sandman, but the Dream Demon ducks. Big boot, right hand. The Sandman spins the chairs back into the faces of Reason as Two-Face stumbles on his feet right into a hold around his throat. Goozle straight to fucking hell. Sandman looks to do the same to Simon, but Simon kicks upwards right into the sandy jewels. Before snapping Sandman down with a nasty DDT. He can't cover though, as Darklord is somehow up, delivering an almighty right hand before lifting Simon onto his shoulders in a backbreaker rack. Events. No, Simon slips out. Small package. 1, 2. Simon's got those goddamn tights again. 3. Faces of Reason still yet another victory out of nowhere. The Taskmaster showing just how it's done as he and Two-Face are one step away from becoming the tag team champions, your winners, and advancing to the finals of Double Tap. Faces of Reason. Whew. Need to take a breath, a breather. We have one semi-final left, Bad Motherfuckers versus Pirate Gold, and then a final. Couple segments left to go. Here we go then. Let's move it straight on. Let's keep it running. A segment featuring Nigel Royal and Albert Shaw called Business Yet Concluded. They may have been eliminated from the competition earlier tonight. I'm going to cough. Hang on. They may have been eliminated from the competition earlier tonight. but they're heading to the car park together. It's Her Majesty's Pleasure, Albert Shaw, and Nigel Royal. As they reach the exit and Nigel heads towards his limousine, Shaw stops. Right, mush, he boldly and sternly says. I reckon that's about concludes our business, don't it? Royal looks a little perplexed. Excuse me? He asked quizzically. You wanted Beg gone, and he's gone. You wanted a shot at the tag championships, and albeit unsuccessfully, we had one. That's me done. Nigel doesn't seem that impressed. Listen, sunshine, Royal sneers with a grimace. I paid you millions of pounds for your service. Until further notice, I don't think it's too much to assume that you work for me. That surprises Shaw, who frowns. Dropping his bag. Both men almost clash, their egos rising to the occasion. As they come together, almost nose to nose, it's no surprise that Royal backs away. Look, perhaps we're going about this the wrong way, he offers as a compromise. We're both powerful and strong men. Are we not? I could use a man of your talents to help me achieve some long-destined things, and I'm sure you could always be richer, no? The governor thinks about it, shaking his head. I don't think so, Nige, he says with a stern shake of the head. We made a business transaction, I carried out my end. That's it. We're done. I'm not being anyone's fucking patsy, mate. My lackey days are over. It's time I went into business for myself. He reaches down and picks up his bag, marching away. Royal heads back to his limousine, reaching into his pocket for a cell phone. Get me everything you can on Albert Shaw, he demands. No one tells Nigel Royal no. And then we cut. It looks like this once formidable alliance is slowly but surely falling apart. Nigel Royal thought he bought a lackey. He didn't. Albert Shaw now wants to go it alone. He's done his job. You know, he got rid of Beg. They had to go at the tag titles. He's done. Royal, he ain't happy about that. We're going to see how this one pans out, I'm sure. But before we get there, we've got another semi-final. It is Pirate Gold versus Bad Motherfuckers. One of these two teams will meet the Faces of Reason in the Double Tap IV final. Who's it going to be? Yeah, I think George made you look like an ass, yeah, because I think every match he's written has been Tag and yours has been Tornado. In fairness, though, to George and myself, I think we made it clear this is a tag team tournament designed specifically to enhance tag team wrestling. So, I mean, take that for what you will, Zaki Poo. We do love you, but I do think you fucked up. Okay, let's move on. Oh, we've got to call someone out on stream for fucking up. I shouldn't really. Okay. There's a little treasure chest waiting at the end of the double tap rainbow. The Bad Motherfuckers and Pirate Gold meet in one last bid to reach the final ladder match in search of the prize. I wrote the ladder match, by the way, so I hope you enjoy that later. Zach wrote this. Jordan wrote this. It was me, Zach, and Jordan on match writing. The first two matches were written by, I believe, Jordan, and the latter two first round matches by Zach. The semi-final you just saw were two faces, the Faces of Reason. That was written by Zach. This is written by Jordan, and the final will be written by me. So we'll see who's in that. The match begins with Zero and Grimwolf in the ring. The starters come together in a volley of shots at each other. Zero swings a bionic arm, firewall, Grimwolf ducks, keyhold, Zero forward rolls to evade the elbow. Cyborg is quickly back to his feet, but the scourge of the seven seas is upon him. Chop to the back of the head, lead sweep, that's the seven stomps, a curb stomp to the head, pieces of eight, early cover from Grimwolf, 1, 2, kick out. Israel peels Zero off the mat and hauls him into the Pirate Gold's corner, tagging in Kale Gable. The Olympian stepped through the ropes and immediately choked Zero with his boot. A 4 count from the ref, and Gable releases, continuing with a barrage of methodically placed shots to Bad Motherfucker. And I'm not sure about you guys, but it's fantastic to see Kale Gable back in action. Pyre is trying to urge her partner. Kale turns to the Queen of Flames and flashes her his gold medal. Turning back to Zero, the Olympian charges, corner splash, but Zero with a bionic handspring. He lands behind Gable, firewall, clothesline. The gold medalist is turned inside out with the bionic clothesline. Zero tags in Pyre. The Queen of Flames leaps onto the top rope. Missile dropkick. Gable is sent crashing. Grimwolf into the ring. Fireball. Grimwolf abandons ship to evade, and Gable takes advantage. Silence is golden. The bad bitch is being choked the fuck out. Grimwolf steams in. Keyhole. The Queen of Flames is finished. Grimwolf looking for a cover. Chair shot. Zero blasts the pirate with steel. Gable runs to his partner's aid. Goozle. Absolute zero for the Olympian. Onto the steel chair. Zero rolls out of the ring. Pyre drapes an arm over the body of Israel Grimwolf. 1, 2, 3. No! The shoulder up. Zero grabs Gable out of the ring. He tries to whip Gable into the ring steps. Countered. Ripcord back elbow by the Olympian. Gold rush. Spear into the ring post. Inside the ring, Israel Grimwolf has turned the tables on Pyre and is stomping her into Davy Jones's locker. Gable joins him in the ring. Release suplex the neckbreaker. Dance with Jack Ketch. The Scarred drags the Queen of Flames off the mat and whips her towards Gable, lifting Pyre onto his shoulder. Kelstrom denied. Super kick from Zero to Gable breaks up their finish. Pyre is back on her feet. It's 2-on-1 versus Grimwolf now. Firewall from Zero. That's the bionic clothesline. Leg sweep from Pyre. They call that fire and ice. They signal for the end. Pyre goes to the top rope and Zero lifts Grimwolf. Kick to the gut. Punk. City. Killer. No. Countered. Grimwolf with a headbutt. Pyre blindsides the pirate, placing her hands on his shoulders. They ignite. She's burning. Israel Grimwolf. His flesh is smoking. Israel drops to his knees. He's in agony, and Pyre burns right through. Here's the Olympian. Cunt punch from behind. The gold medalist shows no mercy with that low blow. Grimwolf rolls out of the ring. Before I go any further, no, I'll carry on. Scolded, Gable is left in the ring with Pyre. The Olympian wraps his gold medal around one of his fists. He lines up with Pyre. This is the darker side of Kel Gable, but his professional vision. He spots Zero. Gable throws a punch, but Zero ducks. Punk City Killer. He got it. The Olympian recoils, and Pyre comes off the top rope. Dancing flames. That's the Eclipse. Killer Queen. Pyre hooks the legs. 1, 2, 3. Bad motherfuckers progress to the final. Or do they? No. Kel Gable's foot was on the bottom rope. Zero and Pyre begin to argue with the official, and they don't see behind them. Grimwolf slides into the ring. The pirate is armed with a cutlass. Grimwolf charges at Pyre and doubles over the kick to the gut and a shot to Zero with the face of the blade. Grimwolf is pummeling Pyre with the hilt of the sword. The glass of her visor shatters. There's blood as Pyre's nose is busted open. Fireball. The retaliation from the Queen of Flames throws the pirate across the ring. The scourge of the seven seas slams into a turnbuckle. Pyre gives a deafening scream of rage and charges at the horror of the deep. Hard punch. Pyre just destroyed Grimwolf with his own move. Gable and Zero are slugging it out. It's gold medal assisted versus bionic fists. The Olympian is gaining the advantage, bludgeoning the VHS champion with that loaded right hand. Pyre intervenes. Low blow. The bitch is Gable by the balls, channeling her inferno into his nutsack. If Gable had any aspirations of fatherhood, they may well be finished by now. The Olympian slumps to the mat. This is Mortal Kombat. Spit and blood. Zero jumps into the air. Double foot stomp on Gable's chest. Pyre covers. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Bad motherfuckers progress to the final. Pirate Gold left dishevelled in the smoke behind them. The winners and advancing to the finals of Double Tap are Bad Motherfuckers. What a match, by the way. When he cunt punts her, I was going to stop and say it, but I decided to keep reading the match. But when he cunt punts her, I've got that scene from Mr. Deeds in my head when Winona Ryder's character kicks her in the cunt, and she says, "What you kicking? I ain't got no balls." I'm not sure if any of you know that scene or remember that scene, but it's hilarious. Whew. It is a good scene. It is a good scene. My movie buffs are on it. Alright. We know the final of Double Tap. It's going to be Bad Motherfuckers versus the Faces of Reason for the OSW Tag Team Championships. It's going to be epic. It is going to be epic. Before we get there, though, we got a scene called Blockbuster featuring Luke Storm. We're somewhere else. Luke Storm sits in a large office with a view overlooking the Hollywood landscape and sign. He's wearing a suit, accompanied by his traditional glasses. Just then, a man enters the room with a folder and tosses it down on the table, offering a firm handshake that Storm accepts. Luke Storm, David Steinberg, nice to meet you, he says, shaking happily. They stop their handshake, and he points to a seat that Luke takes. Thank you for meeting with me. I was a little surprised to get your call, Mr. Steinberg. Please, call me David, he interrupts. Luke smiles. You're the biggest director in Hollywood. I've seen all your movies. To say I'm a fan is an understatement. When my agent told me you wanted to meet, I couldn't believe it. Well, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? I'm looking to cast a lead to my new action movie. It's called Blockbuster. I've been looking for a new and raw talent, and a friend of mine pointed me in your direction. He insisted on it. That floored Storm, who can't believe it. With his mouth open, he takes off his glasses and puts them away, trying to come to terms with what he's learned. I'm confident we can make the movie work with your wrestling schedule. In fact, the two shouldn't ever be a problem for one another. We're willing to completely and utterly cater to you. I don't understand, Storm stammers. I'm a nobody. I'm a B-list actor at best. You don't need me to audition or anything? David shakes his head vehemently no. Look, we want you, he announces proudly. You're not a star, and we know that. But this is how we make you one. When this movie breaks box office records, we'll launch your career and make billions. He reaches inside the folder and takes out a contract, sliding it across the desk to Luke. The Tempest picks it up, his eyes almost bulging out of his head once again. Take that to your agent. Have your lawyers check it over. They'll find it highly generous and agreeable, I can assure you. I don't even know what to say, Luke says with a stutter. This is unbelievable. And we cut. Looks like we got an interesting little direction for Luke Storm. But this is now what I assume you all come to see. I think this is it, isn't it? It is the final of Double Tap. The tournament has led us here. One of these two teams will walk away with the tag team championships tonight. It was the Faces of Reason versus the Bad Motherfuckers. We will see. This is it. The Double Tap IV final. I hope you enjoyed this match, guys. This is a ladder match. I did write it. These two teams have fought throughout the night to get here. The Faces of Reason have defeated the formidable teams of the Cursed Dreamers, Voynich and Luke Storm, Cackle to the Coffin, Kane and Seesaw, Kane Nightlord and Seesaw, and the Harbingers, the Sandman and Darklord, to progress. Meanwhile, Bad Motherfuckers have knocked out the champions in Kings of the Stone Age, which is Stoner and Jesse Williams, Perfect Strangers, Cody and Mordecai, and Pirate Gold, Kel Gable and Israel Grimwolf. In this match, a ladder match, the OSW Tag Team Championships are on the line. The bell sounds and all four rush towards one another. Two-Face and Zero immediately clash, as do Simon and Pyre. As all four trade right and left hands, it's Zero and Pyre who come out on top, dominating their opposition into the corners. They check each other's positions and nod, whipping Simon and Two-Face across the ring straight into one another. Zero pulls Two-Face back to his feet and slams him back into the corner. Pyre accompanies him, both of them taking their time in slowly taking their opponent apart. With kicks and measured punches, they leave the former candidate slumped and reeling. As they walk back over to Simon, they realise he's gone. Look up! The Taskmaster dives from the top rope, double cross body. He takes them both down. Simon rolls immediately to the outside and grabs himself a couple of ladders, sliding them back into the ring. Two-Face grabs one, setting it up as a bridge in the corner. Pyre is first back to her feet, stumbling backwards and turning around. Two-Face drops her chest first across the ladder bridge. She bounces off with a thud, slamming into the canvas. Simon, meanwhile, has a second ladder set up and tells Two-Face to get Zero whilst he climbs. He doesn't hesitate, mounting the hacker of right and left hands, while the Taskmaster storms up the ladder. Only Zero throws him aside with the bionic arm, and now he's got the ladder. The Taskmaster pleads with him not to do anything hasty, but Zero chips the entire fucking ladder, and Simon falls groin first across the top rope. Jesus Christ, you're not having kids, son. The hacker turns around to see Two-Face running at him, sidestepping and running him straight into the ladder that Simon was just on. He spins him again. Bionic chokeslam through the fucking ladder. Absolute Zero. Holy shit. Two-Face is goddamn broken in half. Pyre slowly gets back to her feet and tells Zero to pull the coin flipper back to his, which he does. Blast of fire by Pyre. No! Alton somehow ducks, rolling to the outside. The Fire Witch angrily runs into the ropes. Tope Suicida. She drives him through. She dives She drives him straight into the fucking turnbuckle, diving through the ropes with the two-face suicida. Zero watches on, not realizing that Simon is coming in from behind. Steel chair to the skull. Another. He bends the chair over the hacker's head. The Taskmaster tosses it down and pulls Zero in. Simon Plex on the steel chair. This is tag team carnage. The Taskmaster repositions the main ladder and starts his ascent once again. He gets about halfway up before he spots it. Pyre's on the top rope. She leaps onto the ladder. She leaps like a fucking cat onto the goddamn ladder from the top rope. It wobbles, but she steadies. They're both rushing to the top. Once they're there, they start brawling. Simon winning the right hand contest shot after shot. She begins wobbling, and here comes Two-Face. Two-Face heads up the ladder behind her. Backdrop off the fucking ladder. Backdrop to Pyre off the goddamn ladder. Simon is going to take the tag team championships. He reaches up to unhook. But here comes Zero from behind with a clubbing bionic forearms to his back. The hacker pulls him forcibly off the ladder onto his shoulders. Electric chair drop, and all four are down. Whoever gets up first surely stands the best chance of becoming tag team champions. Everyone begins stirring. There's no rest for the wicked, and they all know how important it is to get up that ladder and take those belts. They're all back to their feet. The Fire Witch lunges forward with a clothesline. No, Simon ducks it, spinning back fist to Gambit. Punk City Killer. There's this fucking stunner. Simon turns straight into the fucking stunner. Zero gets back to his feet. Heads or tails, Sister Abigail. Two-Face nailed it. He gets back up and starts climbing the ladder. Can he do it? Can he win the tag team championships for the Faces of Reason? Step by powerful step, he heads towards the precipice. Only there's Pyre. She's at the bottom of the ladder, laying on it upright, trying to drag herself into action. With everything she has, she pushes the ladder. Two-Face wobbles, but drops off right at the right moment. He lunges at her with a kick to the midsection, doubling Pyre over. He pulls her straight in as Simon gets back to his feet. She's up into the pile driver position. Super kick to the face by Simon. Spike fucking pile driver. That's a double-headed coin. Surely this is it. But here comes Zero. The hacker leaps into the air. Bionic clothesline to Simon. Firewall to the Taskmaster. Two-Face swivels quickly back to his feet. Zero ducks. Bionic arm choke. Blue screen of death to Two-Face. Kill it with fire, but there's no fucking pinfalls. Zero has to get his ass up that fucking ladder if he wants to win the titles. He gets back to his feet and slowly starts his climb, only to change his mind. He drops off and grabs Pyre, pushing her up the other side. The hacker is wisely doubling their chances. Both of them slowly begin climbing, utterly exhausted. Slowly but surely they reach the top. Only, oh man, there's Simon. Simon is at the base of the ladder. He pushes it. It tumbles. Only Zero lands on his feet. So does Pyre. Zero grabs him around the throat with his bionic arm. Chokeslam straight into the backstabber. That's bad to the bone. Bad to the bone to Simon. The hacker has had enough. He grabs Two-Face off the canvas, looking to end this after the blue screen of death. Stunner to Two-Face, up to the recoil. Eclipse by Pyre. Killer Queen, baby. Nailed it. Fucking nailed it. All they had to do is compose themselves and get up that fucking ladder. That's all they had to do. Zero heads to reposition it for the climb as Pyre collapses into the ropes, holding her midsection. Wait a fucking minute. Pyre just got pulled through the ropes to the outside. It's Israel Grimwald from Kel Gable. They're fucking mugging her on the outside. What the fuck is this? Grimwolf climbs up onto the ring apron, nailing Zero with a headbutt as he storms in. Cable grabs her. Fisherman suplex stomp from the fucking apron. Hook, line, and sinker. Oh my god, they just destroyed Pyre on the outside. Pirate Gold are furious. The bad motherfuckers eliminated them earlier tonight, and they're looking for revenge. They both enter the ring, circling Zero, who gets back to his feet. He's scooped up into the F5 by Gable. F5 into the jumping knee strike by Grimwolf. Kelstrom to fucking Zero. Jesus Christ. Pirate Gold are going to cost BMF the tag team championships. They exit the ring, backing away as Simon slowly begins to stir. The Taskmaster smiles, knowing what he's just seen in his days. He uses the ropes to pull himself back to his feet and slowly begins climbing the ladder, step after step. Slowly but surely, he's almost there. He reaches. No! Pyre is somehow in the fucking ring. She's tipping the goddamn ladder. What the fuck is this woman made of? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? But there's Two-Face, Fire and Ice, Bionic Clothesline and leg sweep as Two-Face tries to take her out. Zero is also back into the fight. These two are bad motherfuckers. Simon leaps off the ladder. Stunner! He leaps into the fucking stunner. He leaps off the fucking ladder into the Punk City. No, he recoils. Eclipse by Pyre. Killer Queen. Killer fucking Queen, those bad motherfuckers. They slowly get the ladder back into position and begin climbing together. Can they do it? Step by step, they reach the top and unhook the OSW Tag Team Championships. The bell sounds and they've done it. Bad motherfuckers, despite the interference from Pirate Gold, have become OSW Tag Team Champions. Zero is now a double champion. What a match. What a tournament. Pyre and Zero celebrate with their belts on top of the ladder, utterly exhausted. Faces of Reason put them through hell here tonight, but it's bad motherfuckers who join Legacy. Tank Kirsch and Michaela Lane, The Awakening, Hate and David Manson, and Wrestling Royalty, Brent Kirsch and Nigel Royal as winners of this prestigious tournament. Here are your winners of Double Tap and new tag team champions, bad motherfuckers. Whew. Fantastic competition. I think some really good tournament. In terms of scores, I will try and tell you those in a minute if you're interested in scores. I mean, obviously the promos will go up as they go up in top 5, but I can tell you the scores. If you like. Before, though, we have one final segment before we are off the air. It is called Family Reunion, and it's featuring The Darkness and Black Skull. We're in the office, formerly the Butcher's office, or at least that's what it used to be. The Darkness stands by a window, looking out over the slaughterhouse, black smoke surrounding him as he does. Just then, he's transported away into the Hall of Skulls. Sat before him on a throne of human skulls is none other than Black Skull. He's wearing a suit and bow tie with white gloves, one leg crossed over the other as he sits. How long has it been since we last met? Black Skull muses from his throne. Too long, the Darkness replies with a knowing nod. Thank you for resurrecting me, sire. Skull stands up and walks down to greet him, taking his frail hand and shaking it. Are my brothers coming? He asks. They will, Skull nods. All in due time. For now, I need you to do what you do best. Sid will be looking to end his search soon enough, and it's your job to make everyone darker. The harder, more volatile and eviler they are, the more difficult his mission becomes. They release their handshake grip on one another, and Black Skull walks back towards his throne. Only the Darkness speaks to stop him. Who, may I ask, is in charge of old school wrestling? He queries. Black Skull whips his head around. I am, he says sternly. We made Colin buy it, which means it therefore defaults to the Skull Order. I'm the new proprietor of old school wrestling. It belongs to me. Very well, sire, Darkness says with a nod. Your wish as always is my command. I'll make them despise one another. There'll be no good soul left once my darkness invades it. There'll be no light nor salvation from it. And then, when the time is right, your brothers will come to your aid, Black Skull confirms. It'll be a family reunion, will it not? They both chuckle together, and it's terrifying. Their laughter being the last thing we hear before the screen cuts to black. Old school wrestling has the first terror upon us, the Darkness, but whilst he may be the first, he certainly won't be the last. And there you go. There you go, folks. That is Double Tap. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've enjoyed the matches. If you are interested in collective scores for the event, I can give them. Just let me know what you want to do. So who wants their score? I will give you the score if you want it. Yeah, so the Darkness definitely has brothers. He has other terrors. Alright, so the winners, Bad Motherfuckers scored 18. Zero scored an 8, and Pyre scored a 10. Pyre will be your number one of the week, hands down. Nobody scored as good as Pyre. So Pyre will be your role player of the week, if you like. Zero scored 10. Zero scored 8. She scored 10. Who else we got? Who wants to know? Pirate Gold scored 15. Pirate Gold scored 15. Faces of Reason scored 16. So Pirate Gold, I scored Pirate Gold as a 9 to Kel Gable and a 6 to Israel Gurmov. That gave them 15. Probably not what you were expecting, Alex, but I didn't like it as much as I think you did, buddy. Sorry. So it won't be what you're quite expecting. Where are we? Fate for the Chosen scored 14, 7 apiece for both role plays. Cursed Dreamer's score was 14.5. Luke Storm 7.5, and Voynich with a 7. Anyone else? I think Dawson fucked off when they got eliminated. I don't think he's around, is he? He hasn't asked to see his. Okay, Faces of Reason scored 16, and that broke down as an 8 for Simon and an 8 for Two-Face. So, along with KL Gable, 0, they are right up there in their scores. Kings scored 14. Stoner got an 8, and Jesse Williams got a 6. So Stoner is also up there. Stoner 0, Pyre, KL Gable, Two-Face, Simon. Sorry, Banzan scored an 8 and Sanctus Bellator scored a 6. So actually, Banzan's also up there, but Sanctus Bellator isn't. The Sandman scored a 9 and Seesaw scored an 8. So they're quite high too. So it's going to be a lot of me working that out to figure out who does get the top 5. What you do know for sure is that it will 100% go Pyre, and then a combination of either the Sandman or Kale Gable. I think actually Pyre, the Sandman, then Kale Gable is probably the most likely top 3 at the moment for you. So looking at the scores I got here, Pyre will be in first. Knowing what I remember about Kale Gables and Sandman will be second, Kale Gable will be third. Then it's working out 4 and 5 out of a lot of people that scored 8 collectively. Stoner, 0, Two-Face, Simon, Banzan, Seesaw all scored 8, so I'll be picking 2 of those for the final 2, which I will do. 16 for Faces of Reason. Cackle to the Coffin got an overall score of 13. That was 8 for Seesaw. And 5 for Kane Nightlord. Harbinger's got a score of 15. That was a 9 for Sandman and a 6 for Dark Lord. You're going to say youch, Damo, but it doesn't get much better for you, my friend. Perfect Strangers got the equal lowest score of the competition along with Cackle. That was also 13. And Mordecai scored a 5, much like Kane Nightlord did. And Cody scored a 7. So same deal, really. 14. Where are we? Her Majesty's Pleasure scored only a 13.5 overall. That was 6.5 for Nigel Royal and a 7 for Albert Shaw. Well, that's a new character, Damo. Got to get used to it, mate. It's your first promo. Get there in the end, mate. Can't expect yourself to hit the ground running with a new character and a new idea and a new everything. Just take some time to get where you need to be. There's no other new characters in the competition you're the newest character of the competition. You're the only person in the competition who has never written one single promo as that character before. So you've got to kind of bear that in mind. Yeah, the average is definitely around 7. Couple 5s, 6.5, couple 7.5s, couple 7s. Death Note with a 7.5, Corvus with a 7.5, so they've got a total of 14. Sigil with a 7.5, Viper Roberts with a 7, so 14.5 for them. Deadly Alliance. You'll get there. I mean, look, you've asked, and so I'm telling. I don't mind the transparency part of things. Obviously, in this game, in this hobby, you want to know how you've done. So I'm not against giving you the scores. I don't want to piss anyone off by telling them their score. But if you ask for it, I'll give it to you. I don't mind being transparent about those sort of things. So Bad Motherfuckers won with a 2 points more overall. But in fairness to Faces of Reason, they both scored 8 each for them to compete. They would have had to score a minimum of 9 each, and you're looking at missing it purely by 2 points for a draw. That's really impressive. Very impressive indeed. We now move on to Terrorvision 239, 239. Jesus Christ, it's insane, isn't it? Almost up to 250, nearly 250 weekly shows. Bear in mind, there's only 52 weeks in a year, and every 3 weeks we have a special. 250 shows nearly. It's insane, people. All should be proud of ourselves for that. It's an incredible feat. So congratulations to Bad Motherfuckers for winning the tag team championships. Congratulations to Faces of Reason for a standout tournament effort. If I were Alex and Two-Face, I would definitely consider the potential of continuing that tag team because you both nearly won double tap, 2 points off it, 8 each for 16, 10 and 8 for them, 18. Very much. I would definitely consider the potential of continuing that tag team in some form, and the characters I think can mesh well together as well, given their gimmicks and things. So it's something I would consider if I were you both. I would definitely consider it. Well, that's it. Yeah, you both scored the same as 0, and Lena was the standout with a 10. And I mean, Lena would tell you quite honestly, scoring a 10, anyone scoring a 10 is rare to score a 10. So he really did knock it out of the park, which definitely helped him take it home for his team. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, isn't it? But I do dare you to sleep on 0, the first ever double champion in this volume, I think. So I do dare you to sleep on 0. I have a feeling, as I'm sure Lena will know, if you do sleep on 0, you're gonna get your asses fucked. So I would I I would definitely not do that. Nope, not the first. You're right. He did rewind and wow. That's correct. Yeah. Well, Lena definitely brought it home with those extra 2 points, but you could take out Lena and you still got one more to deal with. So be interesting. I hope you enjoyed the show. An hour and a half ish, like I said. It didn't ruin your life by taking 8 hours of your time. I hope. Hope you enjoyed it. I will post it up on the forums now so you can read it. Obviously, I read the matches a bit fast. You might want to go back and you know um, soak them in a bit more or something. I don't know. I tried to read the matches with a bit of pace and a bit of emphasis, so hopefully it doesn't pass you by. But you can feel free to go and read them, of course. Yeah, I'm hopeful that we can make tag team wrestling great again. the feuds I've got set up for next season. There is a tag team feud set up for next year, a tag team championship feud set up for next season. It was going to be a feud whether or not they won the titles either way. So it's gonna be a good feud. Obviously, you can see what's happening with Pirate Gold and Bad Motherfuckers in the main event, so that's going to go down over the next month. It's gonna be a great story. Look forward to that. I'm writing it, so I'm really looking forward to starting doing that soon. All right, we now officially begin our move forward towards Up in Smoke, which will be live. I will be doing Up in Smoke live. Depending on what happens between Voynich and Simon next week on television, it currently looks like it's going to be Voynich versus Albie Shaw versus Death Note versus Corvus versus Sigil versus Seesaw for the OSW Championship in a gas chamber. Woo! You don't want to miss it. And of course, I may as well have just announced that there will be the Tag Team Championships on the line as Pirate Gold take on Bad Motherfuckers. I think that's quite clear. So join us for all that. Season 5 has just begun. OSW is now back in full swing. Feedback thread updates will all go up on the forums, as will the show. So let's get moving. It's Terrorvision. It's 239. It's Championship Special. Jesse Williams, Albie Shaw. There's a lot going on. So I will see you guys then. Bye bye.